What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Not a Podcast. I'm obviously your host, John, and I'm joined by my co-host...
Hannah! Infinity on Hannah, that is.
Yes.
We're back.
We're back with another episode, and today it's not just us. It's not just boring old John and Hannah. We're also joined by the band Vinyl Theater. What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
And who do I have the pleasure of speaking with this evening? I feel like I hear a few voices over there.
You got Chris.
He plays keyboards.
I play keyboards.
Just so you know. Keegan, I sing, and then...
We got Nick over here. I play drums.
Nick is the prankster in the band, I can tell. We were chatting a little bit on Skype beforehand, and we can tell already.
That may or may not have been Keegan on Nick's laptop.
Oh, I see. So I feel even more lied to now. So, Hannah, you actually interviewed Vinyl Theater a few years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, we go way, way back. So you guys toured with 21 Pilots back in 2014. I actually met up with you guys then. We did a really quick interview. It was kind of awkward, but I think it turned out okay. So that was kind of our introduction. And here we are now, so many years later.
And we're only about a year post-removed from your last album, Origami. Tell us about what you guys have been doing over the past year or so.
Pretty much just writing and trying to record and produce a record completely on our own. Since that record came out, we decided to go a completely different direction with the sound, but also staying true to some of our roots. And we decided that Nick's going to produce the record. He's been doing a lot of producing and working on new sounds and finding new keyboards with Chris, new keyboard sounds. And so we, over the past year, have been just creating a new record.
So, your sound in the past, I guess, to kind of describe for anybody who might not have listened to you guys that's tuning into this podcast, I would say maybe alternative, definitely with like some synthy tendencies in places. Really catchy stuff, and I would say it has a pop appeal there, but also some like driving guitars, other nice keyboard melodies, everything like that. It's been very enjoyable, and I really did like your album Origami last year. So you mentioned a change in sound for this new upcoming, as of yet to be announced at the time of recording this podcast, but by the time everyone's listening it will have been announced. But what exactly has been that change for you guys, and what sparked the change?
I think every record that we've done has kind of been an evolution on what we've already written or we've already done stylistically. So even moving forward past the next album we put out, it's going to be an evolution of that too. So Origami has a little bit more guitars and more organic synths. The new stuff that we're doing now, it's almost a combination of both, but still I don't really know how to put it.
Yeah, if I'm being 100% honest, I think we strayed away from a lot of things that we wanted to do for a long time, but we're afraid of being compared to other bands. And I think we just said we're just gonna make the songs we want. So anything we wrote, we just wrote it, and we just kept anything we said. Well, you know, we don't want to be compared to so and so and whatnot band, and we just put everything into it that we feel like is genuinely us. And you know, a lot more hip-hop infused on this record, and still pretty rocky, and it kind of goes all over the place with this record. I don't know. I know we didn't really address the question, what was the catalyst for us changing the sound. I guess it's just, you know, we did part ways with our previous label, and I think like any breakup, like you go through drastic changes and you try to find yourself again. So that's kind of what we've just gone through, is trying to find out who we are as a band. So
that does kind of lead me into my next question that we wanted to ask you guys about, because previously you were signed to a subsidiary of Atlantic Records, fueled by Ramen, and over your time there, it was about a 4-year stint or something like that, up until last year and the release of Origami. I always, at least personally, kind of felt like there was a little bit of lack of promotion for your band, and I know that there was like a delay around Origami. Can you tell us anything about what was going on behind the scenes, and if you do feel a relief being independent now?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a big relief, to be honest. What happened with Fueled by Ramen, I think it just came down to like the bottom line, and you know, we were definitely a smaller band, and we weren't necessarily making making them money, and I understand that, and I know a lot of the people on that label personally, and you know, they're a business and they have families and they have houses, they have kids, you know, it's pretty complicated, and it gets pretty kind of sad when you think about it, because even if somebody at that label really wanted us to stay, the bottom line does matter, and it, you know, we might not have been making a ton of money for the label, but we definitely had a strong bond there, and it was a pretty sad departure. With attention, I think that just comes with, you know, how much you're growing as a band, and having even just one successful song can change that for you so drastically, you know, how a label treats you and how they perceive you. When you have potential to make a label a lot of money, a lot of times that means they're going to give you their attention. And it's funny because, you know, that usually you get signed and they see your potential, and I think the first year was pretty good. You know, they put us on a lot of good tours, and we did well for them, and they did well for us, and I don't know, it just got a little bit, the relationship got stale, I think, and I don't think they knew what to do with us, and we got pretty heavily A&R'd because they wanted us to be successful, so they kind of micromanaged the songwriting too heavy, I think, and maybe made some executive decisions going to radio that we wouldn't have picked. You know, they wanted to go to radio with 30 Seconds, we wanted to go with a different song, but we didn't really have the backbone to say no to anything for the longest time because we were afraid of getting dropped. So a lot of it's two-sided.
Yeah, so the album actually ended up getting delayed. What actually caused that, I guess? Like, was that their decision, I assume, to push that back? And what was that reasoning?
Yeah, it was their decision. But we also were pushing to get new music out, so they let us release 4 songs. That push for those 4 songs was great, and the streaming seemed to be doing pretty well for us. And after that, you did hit it on the head when you talked about it. I watched your video on us and on a couple other bands. What sort of the problem with Fueled by Ramen, essentially, with Paramore having a record, so we got our record moved to a different date, to an earlier date.
Yeah, I knew that was true. I knew it. There was too good to be true for that to get moved, and I said that has to be the reason why Vinyl Theater got bumped up a week, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's a sooner release, but the thing is, with the resources Fueled by Ramen has to put a record out a week before one of your biggest bands on that label, we did have a feeling as a band like this might hurt us, but also we aren't Paramore. You know, we don't have the means to blow ourselves up just by releasing a song or releasing a record. If we had released a song that was going to be massive for us, then of course that would have just done well on its own regardless. But not having the resources that Paramore has is definitely difficult. And they have a different management company too, so it's more complicated with them. But I really do wish that we wouldn't have been so malleable as a band. I don't think we ever said no to anything, to be honest, and that really hurt us in the long run.
Right, kind of like they ended up putting you on the back burner as a result of that. And did you guys feel kind of, especially on the Origami cycle, like maybe it would have helped some of these songs, like perhaps 30 Seconds or the other song that you wanted to pick as one of the big singles, if they had gotten either music videos quicker, or wasn't there only one music video released during that cycle? Because a lot of times those music videos can obviously help streaming numbers too.
Definitely, we're still waiting on a music video from them for that record.
Yeah, good luck seeing that one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they even after they dropped us, they've sent us some CGI rendering of a video for "Thank You for the Good Times." It's pretty funny that that's still kind of going on, but it's on the back burner completely. You know, we might never see the end product. So
right, it's like 2020. You get an email, "Hey guys, we just finished the rendering on your music video for your new album Origami that came out 3 years ago."
That might not be far off. That might happen. I'll let you know.
Exactly.
So your upcoming record is going to be released independently through your own LLC, Outer Wave Recordings. Tell us a little bit about this album. How many songs are going to be on it? What's the name of the album? When is it due out?
We have 11 tracks on the record, which is nice because we've always been stuck to like 9 or 8.
Right.
Yeah.
I have noticed that.
Going above and beyond now.
Yeah, we wanted to do a full story, and the record is going to be called Star Cruiser. And it's not necessarily like completely space themed or anything like that, but it's more like a space odyssey in a way. It's just it travels through each of our lives, the story of our family and friends, the story of our hardships and theirs, and also the good times, you know, the highest highs that you can imagine, you know, climbing the mountain together and figuring that out, and, you know, the lowest lows and what it's like to kind of go through that breakup with the label a little bit. But we're not bitter at all, so it really doesn't have that vibe at all. It's a very diverse record that just talks to every kind of hardship we've had besides that, and all the good times as well. So it's got 11 tracks, and I feel like 11 somehow, you know, was a good summation for the whole entire story of all three of us.
I thought for sure you'd pull out a double album this time after the short albums. I thought for sure it was going to be a double album concept after you said Star Cruiser. But still, that definitely sounds exciting, and I'm happy for you guys that you get more tracks, you're able to do things, and I believe you mentioned that Nick is producing the record himself. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. We just sent off the...
It's getting mastered right now, so we're at the final stages now, finally. In a very happy place with it.
Yeah, he produced and mixed it himself, which it's pretty awesome. Because when we started recording together, this is Keegan. I lived in Colorado, and they lived in Wisconsin. And even in those times, we would Skype just like we are right now, and we would play little parts of songs and try to figure it out. And then we'd email entire song files back and forth, and Nick would be the one mixing it. And that's all the way in 2009. So, you know, fast forward 9 years later, and he's actually able to do a record on, you know, I'd say a major label quality, and it's pretty crazy.
That's
right.
awesome.
And so there's got to be a sense of pride too, honestly, doing it yourself. And do we have a release date on this yet?
I believe August 31st. That might change by a few days here, but August 31st, we're trying to have the record out before we go on tour because the label never got that right.
Yeah, about that. So you guys are actually going on a pretty expansive tour, the Star Cruiser tour with Royal Teeth and The Catching, if I'm not mistaken. And you guys are hitting dates all over the U.S. You're going to be coming to our state in NC. So Hannah, you know what we're going to be expecting, right?
I'm not going to ask.
we're obviously coming backstage to hang out with you guys. You know, we got a taste for it when we went on Warped Tour. Austin Knight from Water Parks had us backstage, and now pretty much any show we go to.
We can't go to any concert now that isn't, you know, giving us backstage, early entry, you know, all the exciting stuff.
That's what's up. That's awesome, though. Yeah, we'd love to have you guys.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna try and make that show for sure. It's been a while since I've seen you guys, so.
Are you guys stoked for the tour? One that's actually going to kind of coincide with an album release and, you know, like obviously probably touring with some of your friends, Royal Teeth and The Catching?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited. Yeah, we toured a little bit with Royal Teeth in 2013, surprisingly, so before we were really touring too much. They took us out. They were gracious enough to take us out for a few dates and kind of get us a taste for real touring. And then The Catching is a really young band, really awesome guys.
Great musicians.
So yeah, and they're great musicians. I really can't wait to see what they end up doing with their musical careers because I think that they have really just a ton of potential. So bringing them out will be great. We get along with them a lot, and we just have a good time with them. So it's just going to be a really fun tour, and every show is going to feel consistent through the whole country, you know. So it should be
right. Well, we're definitely looking forward to catching it.
So you guys have had like pretty much a quick turnaround with this new material, I would say. Do you often feel like that pressure, like with the social media age and everything, how everyone's kind of constantly putting out music? Do you feel that pressure?
I think all the time artists definitely feel like you can disappear really quickly.
Right.
You know, and a lot of it's like weighted on Spotify these days. So you see Spotify numbers fluctuate pretty heavily. Like a
right.
You know, decently big band will put out a song and jump up 150,000 Spotify streams, but if they go back down 2 months later and sink 150,000 monthly listeners, or you know, and they sink back down to where they were, you know that the song didn't do very well. You know, and you can watch all the analytics and statistics and see exactly how you're doing it every second. So not posting to social media can hurt you. Posting too much to social media can hurt you. Not putting out enough music can hurt you. It's just, It's so
Yeah,
complicated.
we definitely know that world for sure. So.
Right. It's in no way the same beast, but cranking out YouTube videos, it's kind of like you said. There's either there's a line between too much, too little. When do I put
You gotta
out what?
stay relevant, really.
Right. It's a line between staying relevant and also staying true to who you are. And I think that a lot of bands like yourself are kind of finding that sweet spot these days. And honestly, you guys, if I'm just going to go ahead and put a guess out there, you probably already had Origami mostly in the bag in terms of songwriting and everything like that way before it actually came out.
I think we wrapped on the recording August 31st of 2017. Or 2016.
2016.
I was about to say, oh, you wrapped on recording 3 months after it released.
Well, yeah,
But it
sounds
was done,
about
I
like
mean,
Fueled by Ramen for sure.
yeah, it's about a six month wait to have it out or more.
Which, I mean, that does make sense, really. That that amount of time for a major label release, but
Sure. But I also, your first record was what, 2014? Is that?
we should have had something out sooner, though.
Yeah, I think that's something that we would have wanted to do differently, is just put out more material. Definitely, because
The two things: put out more material and say no once. You just say no to one thing. We always said yes to everything.
And you did say no to this interview about 20 times, and I respect that, but we did keep asking.
I don't remember that. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding, guys. We obviously appreciate you coming on and chat with us today, and I think the main thing that we want to leave listeners on is just kind of an impression on what to expect from your band in the future after the release of this album. How quickly do you want to do more stuff? How long do you plan on touring this new record? And well, yeah, I was gonna try and think of something else clever, but I got nothing.
I think we're hungry at tour right now.
Yeah, right now we just want to be on the road. And I think, like you were saying before, like it took you, like, how long did it take for that, for the record label to actually release your record? What a long period of time to not tour on new songs that you're itching to play. The nice thing is we've just wrapped up and we're getting our songs mastered, releasing it within the same month, and we get to tour on some of those songs and play some of those songs, in conjunction with our other songs. So we're very excited to tour. I think right now we're just gonna see how these songs do as well. I think they're really great. I think they're really different. And then try to continue to tour after that. And so this entire next year, we just want to be on the road as much as possible, seeing and meeting everybody and playing songs, getting back into being road dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. It can probably be a drastic change, especially if you've been off the road for a little bit or didn't get to tour as much as you would have liked to for the last release.
Yeah, that was tough. Not really touring.
I think that was a big thing too with Origami. We never really did a tour on Origami until a year after.
Right. Well, I know one way to make that up. You guys can play the song "My Fault," my personal favorite, at our date in NC. We'd greatly appreciate that. That's one that or else what's the other one that we're always singing along to? But I want.
Pull Your Weight.
Yes, Pull Your Weight. Yes, we sing along to that one all the time. That's a
so
great
many gems on that album.
Great driving song. So I'll be happy if one of those gets played live. Obviously, the new material we're stoked to check out too. Really excited that the new album is coming out so soon. That honestly caught me a little bit by surprise.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But, we're stoked about it, and I know you guys are too. If you guys want to check out more from Vinyl Theater, we will leave all of the appropriate links down below. Very cool band. We really enjoyed chatting with you guys today. And be sure to check out their new album, Star Cruiser, out August 31st. Hannah, anything else to hit them with before we go?
With our audience or with the band?
Either or.
I just want to wish you guys the best, honestly. And if you're listening to this right now, please go support this band. They absolutely deserve it.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Guys, any parting words for us?
I just want to say thanks for having us on. I really appreciated a lot of the videos you've done. I've watched a lot of your YouTube videos, and I think you guys are doing some awesome work. And I wish more people were out there were reviewing records and reviewing songs like you guys do. And you're very honest. And I've always thought that about you guys. You're very, very honest, and you do a great job. And keep kicking butt. I hope you guys do great.
Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
who were those kind words from? I'll have to remember that in the future. I'm gonna guess that was Keegan, but I can't tell because I can't see you guys right now.
all of us.
You'll never know.
I'll never know. Yeah, this is also the band that told us that they were dressed in tuxedos, even though we can't see them. So I'll take that with a grain of salt. I'll assume it was from everyone. And thank you guys for coming on. Make sure to check out all of the links for Vinyl Theater down below, and their new album out soon.